And we are live with two of the panel here and maybe an extended discussion on recent Mike Flanagan activity while we wait for TCG. How about it? Welcome everybody to Double Feature Horror Show episode 241, and we are covering Pulse from 2001. This was a member request that coincidentally follows is another Kiyoshi Kurosawa film that we covered last week, The Wonderful Cure from 1997, that we absolutely adored. I gave it, if I recall, an 11 burgers out of 12. If only Kurosawa-kun could have shoved a little bit of Tony Todd in there, he would have got the full scores. But no love for the Toddster in Japan. What can I say? Hello, TCG, joining us in time. Brilliant. I was maybe too hasty. I will pop you in here and welcome.
Sorry about that. Better late than never.
Oh, always welcome. You're like a Guinness, aren't you?
what black all the way around, white at the top.
Yeah, black and white on top.
No, do you know? I tell you, this light isn't helping.
The Andre Brayer look,
mate. I tell you what, this light's perhaps a bit complimentary, but at work today, because I had quite a lot of Teams calls, right? And I'm sure it's the lighting, but my God, am I looking silver nowadays? It's bad.
Oh, bless you. Distinguished is what we call it. Yeah.
I was thinking I might have to start looking up the price these days for Just for Men.
Oh, don't say that now. That's going to be every Google ad you get for a month. Quick, start talking about Tampax, Just Eat.
No, don't talk about that. I don't want that on my advertisement feeds. I don't want to see like 10 ladies and no, I don't want that.
That's a good one. I'll give you 10
Pluto TV insisted on foisting liposuction and tummy tuck ads.
Liposuction ads? What?
Yeah. To be fair, I could probably go with some liposuction. Starting to get a bit around.
United States' largest cosmetic surgeon. There's one in your area. Great. Yes, I've been losing weight. Yes, I have the skin shirt, but I refuse to do the tummy tuck.
Yes. No human Hoover. We're not going for it.
Yeah.
Well, folks, maybe we won't discuss Mike Flanagan's recent activity. I don't know. But one thing we will absolutely do in a slightly ham-fisted way, just so that I show appreciation, because I feel really bad when I leave it hanging for too long, is we will say that we are live on YouTube on a monetized channel, and as such, you can show your support for this channel via super chats, as Distant Night has done, or via memberships, both here and on Subscribestar. And if you do that, you get to vote on the theme we cover each month, choose something for me to cover or yourself. You can do a request, and you get exclusive content. There we go. But on the old super chats front, hello, Distant Night. Thank you very much for dropping in $5 kicking us off before the stream even starts, and saying, "Now I'm alone with my best friend, my last friend in the world, and I found happiness." What an ending to the film, eh? What an ending. It stuck with you, clearly. Thank you also to Distant Night for doing the screen caps as ever. It's extremely helpful. There was an extensive collection this week, which made it perfect for finding everything I needed. So thanks again, DK. Very much appreciated. And Lawrence, bless you. Yes, it's hard to compete with the Aussie Menace. What can I say? I hope you're all well. Hello, John Goris. Hello, Chopsticks. Murphy, very good to see you. And Lawrence as well. Very good to see you. Fantastic. Well, that is a nice shilling done on my end. Anything you guys would like to shill before we move things onwards, or derail entirely to talk Flanagan?
I actually have nothing to shill. Actually, I'm going to take a proper break. Not that I've been doing anything anyway, but I've been thinking a lot about stuff.
Just not on YouTube.
Yeah. So I'm taking a break from it all for the next 10-12 days. It is. So yeah, I won't be around again until at least the 10th of August. and then I'm going away again, and then I'm buggering off again from the 14th to the 21st.
Hang on,
So,
wait.
Yeah, you need to.
What? Oh no!
Mhm.
Oh no!
Why? What's going on?
Going off again on the 14th.
Yeah.
Oh man!
Well, what am I
Well, the
missing? What am I
14th is a
missing?
Friday.
Yeah, but it's not the 13th.
It's so close. It's so close.
It's parody-esque almost, you know.
If you're drunk, it's almost the right time. We could just like down a bottle of Southern Comfort and do the commentary.
I've had a thought. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So, while if we did it on obviously, potentially we could do it technically on a Thursday, right? Because it would be the 13th for us, right?
Yes,
but for folks like Dissident Night, Gently Benevolent, Bilbo watching, it would be a Friday. Friday,
yes.
the 13th.
We can do it.
We just manipulate time.
There we do it. Absolutely. Why not? We can make time all floopy. We bring out the frozen donkey wheel and we just make it happen. That's a callback for people who know. But we got to do it, man. We got to do it. I think it's doable.
I think so.
You're getting some approval here. Distant Night is sending in another $5 and saying, "Gosh,
Silver Fox."
Thank you, John Graham, for that one. Appreciate it, buddy. Silver Foxium Unite. I also have a skin shirt. Murgoot. Nothing to do with weight though.
I can relate
Distant
to
Night,
that. To be
Buffalo
fair.
Bill confessing live on the stream. Very big fat person. Not often you get to bust that one out. I think it was kind of weird that they brought Buffalo Bill himself, Ted Levine, into Memoirs of a Geisha. I'm going to say it ruined the erotic element of those scenes for me.
Yeah. Cross-dressing serial killer would do that, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Well, can I pose something before we get going? Because usually we don't even start vaguely on topic until like 20 minutes in. We were wondering backstage, is Mike Flanagan having a bit of a redemption arc?
Well, what's he doing? I've been out the loop. I've seen nothing.
I've been out the loop too. I'd given up on him. You know, there was Fall of the House of Usher. I got through one episode of it and I had to quit. You know, it was if you're doing your parody of 2020 wokeism, it would be that. Just sort of goodness me. His Midnight Club, I got through all of it, but it was an absolute sloppy mess, like a how did this get to screen sort of thing. It was so bad Netflix cancelled it after one season. Do you remember back in the day, Netflix would give you 2 seasons no matter what you put out? But
they loved a bit of Flanagan, didn't they?
They were big. They went big on Flanagan. They went hard on Flanagan, but he stopped performing for them.
I did watch. Well, I watched, as I mentioned a few weeks ago. Finally watched The Shining, right?
Yeah.
And I actually thought, right, I do need to watch Doctor Sleep because I need to see what that's about, right? Not realizing that it was a Mike Flanagan work, right? I couldn't get through it. Could you know?
I couldn't get through the King's novel. King was much better when he was. I've said again and again, King's readable stuff is when he was on cocaine and vodka.
Sadly true. But and in general, I'm just going to say he's best adapted. Like he's an absolute factory of raw horror material, but you need someone to basically refine it. Like if Harrion were here, he could do this better, but I am assuming he would say it's something like King is putting out raw slag, and you need a Mike Flanagan to refine him into steel.
Right.
Is that how that works?
Apparently.
I mean, scientists in the chat, let me know. But
How many dentists agree? Do 9 out of 10 dentists agree? If they do, then yes, what you just said makes
solid.
sense. Yeah.
Well, so yeah, I'm with you. I got all the way through Doctor Sleep. I thought there were some interesting shots. I think Rebecca Wilson was
I
in
think
that.
so. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
She
Yeah. I
was
think
she
so.
was pretty
Yeah.
good. But then at the end it screwed the pooch. It crapped all over the bed.
Mm.
There's some weird stuff in that ending that did not need to be in there. It was like full on meme bingo in there, and just anyway. Doctor Sleep, bit of a disaster,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
I just didn't like the angle it had gone down, taking the whole shining power and just sort of focusing the story on that really. I will say I find there's that brutal scene where they take out that baseball kid, right?
That's
And
horrible, yeah.
yeah, it's awful. But I've seen that scene so many times on like YouTube Shorts. I never. It wasn't until
You didn't know it was
I
there?
didn't know it was that.
Ah,
Didn't know it was that. So I was like, oh, okay,
right.
that's a great scene. The kid's a brilliant actor. Like, I mean,
Mm.
you know, it does a good job. But yeah, I just didn't like the angle it had gone down. Really, I would have liked to have. I would have, because I think it should have gone down, almost like down a prequel route. Because again, I'd never seen this, so I just assumed it was. Didn't realize it was a sequel, and I feel like it should have gone down that prequel route, and Ewan McGregor's character should have been the caretaker from the the previous caretaker, watch his descent and things like that. But yeah, I think I just couldn't get through it. I mean, I'll probably finish it at some point, but it wasn't what I was expecting it to be in any sense.
I wouldn't. If you struggle to get through it, like the ending is no better. It's the definition. Chat, tell me if I'm wrong, but it's a definition of member berries. It's awkward member berries. Like, it doesn't look quite right.
Right.
Because it is getting anyway, I won't ruin it for people who haven't seen it, but absolute member berries. There is something quite funny about it, though, in that, as we all know, as mild obsessives, you're on your way. You'll catch the bug. There's no escaping once you start loving The Shining. But obviously, the Stephen King Shining and the Stanley Kubrick Shining are very different, and Stephen King has very, very strong feelings of that, to the point that he made some questionably judged statements about Kubrick's movie.
Yeah, but
had to officially walk it back and promise not to snag it off.
Yeah, but Stephen King
has the right to readjust his own movie.
I'm sorry, but true. Yeah, true. But Stephen King also has like mental Trump derangement syndrome, and he does like to write a lot of child orgy. So, I mean, I would take his opinions on writing literacy and etiquette, perhaps with a pinch of salt. Yeah, sure, he's done a few bangers here and there, but a broken clock's right twice a day.
Yeah. King did say after doing his version of The Shining that, for what he was given, Kubrick did a good job. I didn't realize how hard it would be to write this.
It's true. It's true. Yes. And he did try it himself. We'll give him that. However, there is a sort of dark hilarity for me in that Doctor Sleep is the sequel to The Shining.
Prequel.
No, it's a sequel, isn't it?
Sequel. No, it's a sequel.
Yeah. Danny's a grown boy now.
Yeah.
Unless you're about to spoil the ending for me and it's like some sort of time loop.
No. It's not that Stephen King one. But obviously
stuck down the drain with the kids from It. There's only one way out of this, guys. Starts removing t-shirt. No, don't do it.
It's like, there's like, you can do a dark parody of Stephen King stuff, but like the old Bear Grylls meme where he's like, what? Better drink my own piss. It's like, well, I know how we're going to get out of this situation. It's child orgy time. Don't
yeah.
Stephen King, anyway, why is the solution to defeating the baddies always a child orgy? Like, what's the matter with you?
Child orgy or crotch humor, like
Blame the Train
or the ultimate crotch humor movie, Maximum Overdrive.
It worries me because one of the things they say is write what you know.
Oh God, no, no.
And I'm just look, Stephen King's the author, not me, and he's the writing expert. Write what you know is apparently one of the first rules about writing.
I will see if that shows
Sorry,
up.
Stephen.
I've got his book on writing. I'll have a look if he drops that beauty in there.
The foreword, write what you know, Stephen King.
No. Well, I have to say,
No,
Maximum
what did he
Overdrive
mean?
is so good. So bad it's good nowadays. It's almost prophetic with AI-driven trucks and Charlie Sheen getting it from the
Charlie Sheen. Oh.
From one of the characters, not Charlie Sheen's, but
I didn't know he was in it. My goodness.
Coke dispenser spitting things out. For the longest time, the only thing I would say was redeeming about Maximum Overdrive was the soundtrack, which was AC/DC's Who Made Who album, which was entirely the soundtrack of the movie.
Quick question. Sorry, this is on a different subject altogether. It's just because I've been quite busy watching other horror films.
You guys are right. Chopsticks Murphy, Emilio Estevez, Charlie Sheen. I always get them mixed up.
In fairness, there's a pretty good reason for that.
Yeah.
One doesn't have as much AIDS as the other. So first of all, watch Evil Dead Burn. Give it a go.
Oh, yeah,
give it a go.
Worth it?
Yeah, give it a go. It's all right.
Which one?
Evil Dead Burn. It's the latest one.
Okay.
It's the latest one.
I didn't even know, but there's 2 extra ones coming out. So there's Burn and Wrath.
Yeah.
Who knew?
I didn't know that. That's the first I'm hearing of it, so I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, it's not a bad film. It's not bad. It's not great. It's not bad. It's all right. It's good. It's good. There's also a nice little nod to Bruce Campbell as well, which you got to keep your eyes open. So keep an eye out for that when you do go and see it. Also, one of the things was that we watched was the remake, the shot-for-shot remake of Psycho.
Oh, the Gus Van Sant one with Anne Hesh
and
wow.
Vince Vaughn. Now, when you watched it, presumably you've seen it.
I am afraid I have. I was a teenager when I saw that one.
Did you watch it in black and white?
No, colour.
Oh, okay. I had a mental Mandela effect because I could have sworn that film was in colour. Me and my missus were talking about it before we watched it because we were going to watch the original, and then we were like, "We'll give the remake a go just because it's the same film anyway. You're not really missing out. Plus, we've seen the original so many times. It's like, okay, well, let's have a laugh." And we started watching it. I'm like, "Hold on, why is it in colour? What's going on?" And we're like, "We've seen this before." But we've both seen it in black and white. We're adamant that we'd seen it in black and white. And then I Googled it and it was like, no, never did it in black and white. Never did it monochrome. So what? How? So
you got Mandela in real.
We've got Mandela. Yeah, we are from a different universe. It's confirmed. And if you're like, now, I watched it in color.
Yeah, I think the only differences I recall was that it was much more obvious when Norman Bates was jacking it, and the Marion Crane character kicks Norman in the head in a bit of girl bossery. And those are the only differences I recall because I have
that and in the opening and in the opening scene, the bit on the side is a little less dressed.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
Bare ass, yes, he's a lot less dressed. Ooh. I don't think they were getting away with that in the 60s.
No, they did struggle. They did struggle. Okay, nice.
But it did make the you've got to put your shoes. You've still got to you still yet to put your shoes on line. That bit more effective, I thought. Added a little bit of comedy.
I'm now wondering if Gus Van Sant recreated the Hitchcock cameo with himself.
Oh,
that is something. Anyway, no, that's something.
It's been so long since I've seen it, I can't remember.
Lawrence, I would watch that, Lawrence, if they did a shot-for-shot remake of Psycho 2.
It's been long enough; they can do it.
Yeah, and I tell you what, of course, yeah. But that film for me is madly underrated.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like Grease,
and it's
2.
From our boy Tom Holland of Fright Night fame. Love that.
Yeah, and you know it's like Grease 2, but good.
Yeah, it is. Oh,
Grease
thank you, Michael
tube, dear
Myers.
God. Oh, God.
Bless. Guys, I've got to finish it off because I've got the funny thing about Doctor Sleep. I have to finish the thought. The dark bit of humor while we were ragging on Stephen King. I just thought the funny thing about it. Obviously, it's a sequel. It's meant to be a sequel to his book, but they were forced to make Doctor Sleep a sequel to Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. So King got cucked again. It's like, hey, I made the sequel to mock Stanley Kubrick Shining. He's like, no, we're adapting it. We're checking out bits. You got cucked again.
Shut up, Steve. Get back in the
that's
corner.
a whole reason. You know what? I think
Get back in the corner and angrily tweet about Trump.
Indeed. You know, we're 20 minutes in. And we'll save the Mike Flanagan redemption arc discussion. TLDR, he's put out one decent trailer and one trailer. Maybe we'll consider that another time. Because I remember we've got a Japanese movie to discuss.
Yeah.
Oh, how did it go, TCG? If anyone wants to be an absolute mensch, comment that we are now talking about the movie. 21 minutes in, we are starting our actual discussion. EFAP would be here for an hour before they got on it.
I came to watch a review of Pulse, and all they did was talk about Mike Flanagan's head and Stephen King writing about child all days.
Oh, my favourite. I came here to pirate the movie. Why couldn't I find the pirate movie? Yeah. People have no standards.
Okay, yeah. I thought this was the full movie.
Yeah, check the timestamp, mate. You loser.
Drives me mad. Anyway, someone be an absolute hero and drop that comment in for anyone. And we will discuss Pulse from Kiyoshi Kurosawa 4 years after his absolutely wonderful cure. And yet he managed to sneak in 2 additional horror movies in between that, Seance and Charisma. The dude is a busy boy. They don't slack. The Japanese, they do not slack. Good on them. But you weren't bursting with enthusiasm, TCG. Come on. How did you find Pulse?
Do you know, I thought it was all right to begin with. I thought it was all right. I thought it was an all right film. For a start, it was kind of like hard to. I think because of the language barrier. Yes, I did have English subtitles, but I was obviously because I know the bulk of the story is about 2 separate sort of people.
Hang on, why did you say like a confession? Like, I do confess I had subtitles. It's like, I don't think you're that much of a weeb. And surely it's like the subtitles is the more like hardcore option. It's like if you'd confess you had a dub. Right?
It was true, but the weebs will, some weebs will probably say that that's still not enough. To be fair, we watched Attack on Titan, me and my boy, a few years ago, and we didn't even bother with English subs. We just went full Japanese. This was like during COVID when we were actually trying to learn Japanese as well.
This is some deep lore. This is lovely.
and we just went full in. Like we didn't bother with any Japanese. We had no idea. The thing is, right, we had no idea what they were saying, but we could kind of follow the story just based off the animation and just sort of what things would happen. I bloody loved it. And we actually did try and switch it to English for an episode, and we just were both like, go back, return.
It's very jolting and jarring.
Yeah, there's a great there's a great like video out there. It's like little it's this Chinese guy sitting there eating cereal, and it's like what it's like watching anime with English dubs, and he's watching it, and he's like speaking in English. As soon as he looks down at his bowl of cereal, he's like, and he looks up, he's like, and then it goes back to English, and then it goes back and his kid's like, what? But I mean, sorry, back to the story. The story I thought was all right. I understood that we were following 2 separate like groups, if you will, experiencing the same thing in sort of real time, and it was evident that that those 2 groups, or 2 people from one of each group, would have eventually met at some point. Do you want to try and bring the story all into one? But what I thought was going to be a very sort of isolated story about these 2 groups experiencing this sort of deadly thing that was happening to sort of crescendo into. I didn't realize it was going to turn into just an absolute like apocalypse, like right towards the final third. I was like, when did that happen? I was like,
way through, I was convinced it was.
Admittedly, I had to watch it in 2 parts because at the first I started watching it quite late at night. Yes, last night with the boy, and I was like, "Listen, so I can't. I'm too old now. It's past 8 o'clock. I'm I'm gone for the world. We're gonna have to finish it off tomorrow." And he was like, "Fine." And I honestly thought that when we started watching it, I thought like that he'd carried on watching it without me for like a good 20 minutes or something. Because I was like, when the hell did everyone disappear? What the frick? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
What?
I'm with you. I watched it in 2 parts because of time, and I had like the last 47 minutes, and
36 for me, yeah.
I struggled. Like there was a notable difference for me in that last 40 minutes, and I wondered, should I just have powered through? But
that's what I felt like. That's
what
I thought.
We'll get to it. Murgoot, how about yourself? How did you watch this, and how did you feel about it?
I watched it this morning. YouTube US had it for rent this weekend. As I told TCG, on Monday it was still there, but I was waiting until last night or this morning to watch it. And YouTube pulled it off of their rent list. And I had to go searching. And it's on Pluto TV now. You had to look it up via Cairo, not Pulse.
Yeah.
And every 15 minutes, they had a 160-second commercial break that was unskippable. It was horrible.
See, you complain about that, Murgoot, but what we have to remember is in the pre-internet age, that would have been something that we would have had to have put up with, which is kind of a bit like what this film is about. The transition.
I had a VCR that would remove the commercials.
You had what?
Well, like
the programming to skip the commercials. It would hold up.
What did you like? Was it like a timer?
Coding the VCR would read it in the broadcast and skip recording the commercials.
That's incredible,
mate.
Goodness.
But
was it? Oh, I wonder if it was that little thing on the top corner that when it starts. I don't know if you guys had it in America, but before a commercial break over here in the UK, back in the day, like we're talking like terrestrial TV, old analog, you'd get like a little black and white sort of like checkered thing, like sort of scrolling across the screen, which was kind of like the universal symbol for, right, get up, put the kettle on, make a cup of tea, break's coming. Yeah. So I wonder if it could send, I wonder if the VCR, if you had that sort of thing.
I didn't have the check mark. I just programmed it, turned on commercial skipping, and you'd lose like 10 seconds of the next scene.
That's mental. I see. You did it manually, me.
Pause. This movie, luckily the subtitles were in proper English, unlike last week's debacle where the only copy I could find that I didn't have to pay for was in Chinglish, but
have I told you about how I ruined anime for waifu?
No, you might have done, but I've forgotten. Do tell. You didn't show that clip. You didn't show that clip that you showed us.
No, not that one. I thought you guys would like
Hong Kong English subs.
No, troll subs. I don't know if this is a widespread phenomenon, but I was trying to show her the melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya. Laugh in your own time, folks. It's a good series.
Right.
But I'm showing her this, and I've just, pulled up some like Daily Motion or whatever, and we're watching it, we're enjoying it. I think we've done like 2 episodes, and it's in a weird order anyway, because that series goes in a chronological order. Anyway, it gets to the big reveal moment of what's really going on in all this craziness in the series. And someone had sodded up the subtitles. So the character, instead of saying what was going on, started yapping absolute bollocks about being in a soup cult that would get people and turn them into soup. And I'm sat here watching it like, what?
No.
Oh no. And we're just like it, and it ruined it for her. And now soup cult is like our go-to explanation for terrible subtitles. But yeah, it wrecked a whole series, and she never went back to it.
Hong Kong pirate Chinglish subs ruined a lot of things for me until I watched the original stuff with actual subtitles, and even then it just didn't quite do the same as
we've all been burned on the Chinese fake DVDs with their terrible Chinglish subtitles.
Many moons ago, we used
to. Do you
to.
ever get just like the random Chinese lady pops into your pub and just goes around like, DVD for sale?
Just about to tell you, when back in the day when I used to work with my dad, we used to have this lad come round to sell like all the knockoff DVDs, but he was actually from North Korea, and he escaped. Yeah, he actually escaped North Korea, and he was telling us all about like what would happen to him if he went back, and he was like in tears and shit as well, because it was like he was pretty certain that his family were in the labor camps because he'd done a runner, but he was like I just can't go back. This is what I do to try and make a little bit of money, and absolutely mental. But he was all right.
He goes from that to trying to flog you Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift.
Do you know what? To be in his defense, he would tell you straight up if the copy was a cinema copy or if it was a decent one, and he never lied. You knew what you were buying. He was sound. He was, but he did stop turning up like suddenly. So I do sometimes wonder whether some North Korean agents got hold of him, but wherever that lad is, I hope he's doing all right. Maybe
the London Fun Police got a hold of him, and anti-piracy. No.
Yeah, mate.
It's one thing they do not stand for.
No, but you wouldn't steal a car, would you?
No. Lawrence Hendry has been a star and sent in £5, very much appreciated, saying, hearing proper horror show meant to watching films in 2 parts. I know, I feel really bad about it. It's like hearing how Mark Kermode watches 3 or 4 films in one sitting before reviewing them. What? If it's a callback, it's a great callback. But yes, I don't like to. I really don't like to. I feel I'm messing it up. But I was shattered. I will merely plead that Little Horror Show is adorable, but she gets up at 5 a.m. consistently. So we got to it. And she goes to sleep quite late. So yes, I was defeated. And had to turn in. So I did not manage it in one sitting. But yes, we have discussed way back in the day that we felt Mark Kermode watching 3 or 4 films in a go before reviewing was not exactly giving them a fair shot, you know. And we did wonder. Yes,
I would love it if he was writing a review for one film, but got some of the scenes mixed up with one of the other films that he watched.
I wonder if he's ever done that.
That would be quite a good thing to try and spot. You know, he's reviewing Transformers, but all of a sudden he slips in, I don't know, Barbie.
Why not?
It was really weird when Optimus Prime went to when.
It's quite a recall, but yes, you figure it's not exactly getting his full attention. Thank you very much, Lawrence, and yes, good Kermode reference. We have a love-hate relationship with Mark Kermode here on this channel. Mostly love. Just tonight, he's also sent in another 10. He sent in 10 Aussie dollars. Thank you ever so much. Writing, write what you know. Ironically, King's best book was his one on writing. Tough call. Tough call. I mean, Dan's Macabre. I really like Dan's Macabre as well. But yes, it's going to be. It's one of the 2 of them, isn't it? Wherein he supposes that Jack Torrance is him. Well, I think he just embraces basically the number of writer characters is, just embrace the author insert, just go for it. And then when he did, was it Song of Susan in the Dark Tower, number 6, Susanna? But yeah, full on author insert. Anyway, Attack on Titan is one of the best written animes ever made.
It is pretty sick. I
think I saw 1 season of it.
Yeah, we
Good
saw. I think we
time.
watched. I think we watched
Pretty
the
good
first
time.
two seasons. Yeah, I think we watched the first two
Decent night.
seasons. I mean, there's still plenty that we've got to go through. But
Mm.
when, excuse me, when we did watch it, we bloody loved it. But and yeah, it was. I say it was during the hype while we were both like learning Japanese, and we had this little like YouTube lady. YouTube channel was like 24/7 thing. Even signed up to like their I think it was like a 90-day like free. It might be 30 days, but like free trial and do the advanced course like. Do the advanced learning stuff. I couldn't tell you anything apart from Kurewan Underscore and Sugoi. Like that's about it. But yeah.
Oh bless. Yeah, I mean, I was very into it back in the day. I can barely remember any of it now, unfortunately. But it's nice to hear it. Interesting. Surely Cowboy Bebop best written one. Surely. Although I have a fondness for X 1999.
I have a
very distant memories.
I go way back. My first anime was Gatchaman, otherwise known as Battle of the Planets.
Yes. Oh, was that the one that they mixed up and they're like, we'll just make our own thing out of this? Is it that one?
Basically. Then there's Robotech, Macross. Then they did another series of mechs called Southern Cross, which they made part of the Robotech universe. And then there was, oh God, what was the Japanese name for it? But the Invid Wars, which they also made part of the Robotech universe, which was all on its own. But I think my favorite best written anime is from the 80s, and that's Appleseed. Give it a go.
Appleseed.
Yes.
Pretty famous one. Just a second, folks. Sorry to put it on an awkward pause there. Unexpected waifu moment. Sneaking in, naked. We didn't want a Vorsh situation, you know. No.
Oh,
it's not that bad.
I didn't know what she was after. I didn't know what she was after.
She's far cuter than the ogre.
Oh, yes. Infamous.
It's double feature horror show gone wild.
Pulse is not getting much coverage tonight, is it?
No. Mind you, I put these two lads in the back because it's quite
so true.
Yeah.
I feel like it's
my
quite
thoughts on this
needed.
On Pulse.
Go for it.
Two-thirds of the way through the movie, I was thinking one type of apocalypse. And by the end, it was a totally different type of apocalypse. And I'll talk about it later.
Jess Franco, thank you.
Yeah.
I love it.
You know, this felt a little bit. I was kind of getting White Noise vibes watching this.
That's a Michael Keaton one. I haven't seen it.
Oh, have you not?
No, draw the dots for me and for everyone listening.
Just technology playing a role in something apocalyptic. It involves the other side. It carries those sorts of same. I'm just wondering whether White Noise took inspiration from this film is basically where I'm getting at, because I know that this was 2001, and I think White Noise was like 2005, 2006. So I'm thinking, but it did sort of carry that, and it did sort of carry that sort of energy. I won't spoil the film for you if you haven't seen it. They did make a second one though. But yeah, you should watch that to see if you get that sort of vibe from that film, because I that's what I got. It's essentially like trying to avoid whatever they were trying to avoid in this. It just carried a lot of the sort of similar beats. I felt
it did. It's an incredibly original work. I mean, it's weird to us now, but you have to remember this is 2001. Look at the blooming internet technology they are using. In fact, I think I've
Windows
2001.
Look at that.
I know.
Windows 97 and AOL, basically.
Yeah. So true. What's this crap? Yes, I agree. So true. So true, Kawashima.
I love how it's got like what looks like what it is Uranus in the middle because
Oh,
with the
hang on.
at
What's
symbol
this?
for the A.
Sorry for the interruption right now. Would I like a bourbon? Yes, I would like a bourbon. Thank you.
Biscuit
That
or
is an
drink.
excellent service.
Any other drinks
Any of you
orders?
guys want anything?
Yeah, top me up. I'll have a lemonade. I'm on the heavy
Yeah,
stuff
go on
tonight.
then.
I've
Nice.
got my Rockstar Blackberry trying to keep me awake since my cat decided to wake me up at 4:20 this morning. That wasn't
Nice.
fun.
Nice.
20 pounds of fur and fangs deciding that I needed to get up.
They set the schedule. We just have to follow it.
Well, I hobbled
Maroos-
downstairs and the food bowl was licked clean. They had half a bowl when I went to bed at 9, and by 4:20 it was licked clean.
Oh, dear man.
Marussia
Distant
said,
Night is going for a scotch. Anyone else? Guys, have any of you tried a Sazerac lately? Go for a Sazerac if you've not gone for it. That's a nice time. That's a very nice time.
Sorry, I'm straight. Marussia 000 said that this film is so relevant today sociologically, and it's interesting. This film was released in 2001. What else was released in 2001 that many people say is very, very relevant, if more so today than it was when it was originally released?
Planes straight into.
Wasn't talking about that. Wasn't talking about that.
Okay.
I was talking about Metal Gear Solid 2. And what's the main theme of that? It's control of information, the spread of the internet. It's the internet. And that's what plays a role in this film as well, because the internet is a relatively new thing in this movie. We're still talking dial-up. We're still talking stick a disc in and get your 2-week free trial. We're still talking welcome to AOL. And we're still talking about you have mail. We're talking about that era of the internet where you could bowl into a chat room and say ASL and you could lie about all three. That's the age of the internet we're talking about. Our kids do not have a clue as to what this period was. My boy was looking at this like, what is that sound? I'm like, that's the sound of dial-up, buddy. That's the silent. That's the sound of your mother screaming up at you. Get off the internet because I need to phone my sister. That's the age of the internet we were living in. This is the age of the internet where it took 30 hours to download a still image. What a time. Oh, yeah. What a time to be alive.
I want a song off LimeWire. Yes. 7 hours, boys. We got it.
Yeah, I got the song. Wait a minute. No, it's German porn.
Oh, no.
Oh, it got me again.
Block anything with the name Raygold on it.
Yeah. I want LimeWire Pro. I'll download it off LimeWire. I love that.
It makes me so happy.
Inception levels.
I don't know.
Brandy for John Graham. Good choice. Good choice. Question, John Graham, brandy on the rocks. So I asked for one in a wine bar, and he offered on the rocks. I was like, I don't know. It feels wrong, and it put me into a dilemma. Anyway, you're not wrong. It is of a time. It's also it was promoted as something that was like, hey, did you like The Ring? Do you like spooky ghosts? And then you watch it, it's like, oh, this film is a lot more like Todd Haynes' Safe from 1994, very niche reference for you all, or Philip Kaufman's version of Invasion of the Body Snatchers. This is a film about a sociological trend which is hitting us all. Like a new development that we are not prepared for, that wrecks us. Kaufman's Invasion of the Body Snatchers, 1978. If you've seen my analysis of it, you know what I'm doing with that. Basically, moving into a city, the environment and the number of people effectively strips us of our humanity. This film does that with the internet. And it basically calls out that the internet will become something like a portal in which we will all be drawn, and there will be a momentum that effectively we all go into it to connect, but doing so makes us lonely. It worsens the loneliness, and my God, did it call it? How did it call it this early?
Japan was going in the 90s, the hikikomori, the grass eaters. the socially isolated, lonely by choice.
MGTOW, basically, or something like stuff like that. You
Adults
mean?
living
Yeah.
with their parents,
The hickeys.
self-isolating.
I mean,
And
let me
the
find the
internet
dude's
just
pod.
allows that even more.
Where's his pod? So I'm going to try and... Here we go. These guys were doing pod life.
Yeah, I
anyone
was
else, like-
my boy and I said, well, like,
Oh,
I can't believe how
Lauren.
small how small their apartments are, but obviously it's something that's
Nailed
quite well
it.
known.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
it is. I
Perfect
mean,
Blue nailed it.
Perfect Blue nailed it. The idea of, I mean, that really got how you'd have this public persona that's outside, but the reality is main character's name.
Mm.
Wait, what was her name?
He is Ryosuke, I think.
Not him in Perfect Blue. It's Mima's room. I think I should know. I've got it. I've seen it enough times. But yeah, the reality is she lived in a pod. Japan invented the pod hotel. It's not a coincidence. These guys were bug lifing it up way early. They called it. They totally called it. The invention of technology gives them that pseudo connection that you think will solve the loneliness, but no, it just zooms you.
It's like
My
you've
gosh,
never been so connected, and yet you've never been so isolated simultaneously. It's
it's
but
a
they even
downward spiral.
Yeah, they even sort of, in a way, they kind of call out even these kind of forums, like where we are now. I mean, you know, you got yourself in America, we've got people watching from Australia, but it's not real. We're not a group of people sitting in a room, or like a, let's say, like a theater with an actual audience. It's all simulated. It's all digital. It's not. You know, the reality is, TCG, you're sitting in your room alone with a fan on and a half glass of lemonade, and you're on your own. You know, that's the reality. But what you're presented with is actually an audience and people to talk to. But is that actually the real thing? You know, you can play games online, but is it the same as a LAN party?
Yeah. Oh,
or is it the same as a board game? You know,
I think that is a good comparison. It's like this is. I mean, maybe I'm biased because I'm doing it and I want people here. But
yeah, don't go anywhere. Don't touch grass, folks.
Obviously, don't touch grass now. It's late at night. The grass will be cold and wet, covered in slugs. You got to do that stuff in the morning. But it's like this stuff is like how can we say, like, it's a niche entertainment avenue, but my goodness, like you need something else. This will not fill your, like, I'm trying to, the phrase social hole came to mind, and I'm trying to find another way of saying that. This will not meet your needs for socialization.
Is necessary.
Thank you, Murgoot. Yes, that's it. Like, we're here, we're doing a thing, but you know, like, do not mistake this for friendship. You know, I have a great time with Murgoot, I have a great time with TCG, and I love hearing from you guys. But if this is the only bit I do, I will go a bit stir crazy. You know, we all need that actual physical contact, because this is a simulation of it. It does a thing, but it is not the real thing. It's to give an analog for something that I've been preparing for another thing. It's kind of like how your company will say, like, guys, we're all a family, guys. Welcome to the family. You know, we're all friends here. Hey, it's birthday, guys. Hey, it's Martin's birthday, and he's a good boy. Let's go and give him a tug in the bathroom. You know, like, these things that modern corporations do, they're not actually your friends.
They start talking about family at work, I start revising my resume.
They start talking about family at work, I remind people very quickly, I don't hate my family.
Thank you, Vel.
Wait a minute. Okay, confirmed. Proper Horror Show has more people in her room than we do. So
see, that was socializing. She brought me booze.
That was the real thing. I'm still waiting for my drink, waifu.
Oh, she's slacking. She's slacking again.
Hop in the car. Come on. Send you me postcard.
Internet, you complete me. True. True.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
no, the whole family vibe thing. I make it a point. I've told people this before. It's like I don't have friends at work. Why? Well, because these people will move on. These people will go and do their own thing. You know, and they'll never shall we meet again. So you know, it's like the people that I consider friends are people that I've grown up with, family. They're the people that I connect with the most. I don't like. This is going to sound really bad, but I don't get involved in like, you know, the little whip rounds when, oh, so-and-so's leaving. Oh, like, I don't care. I'm
not fighting those J
I'm
reputations,
not
TCG.
I'm not contributing because but at the same time I make it very much a point to be like, I refuse to let people know what my birthday is at work because I don't want the attention.
Me too.
I'm like,
no
don't
one
bother.
knows.
One of the guys, he does all like the social gatherings and stuff like that, and I'll do like one or two maybe a year, but I just can't be bothered. I spend all my time, and if any of them listen to this, guys, I love you, but I'm very much like, I need to separate my work life from my personal life, and I don't want the two sort of intertwined because it can get a little bit I just feel like it'd get fucking messy.
You
like
get trouble that way. I'm going to be
Yeah.
honest with you. I apologize, Kiyoshi Kurosawa. You made a really interesting film, and it's so interesting that it's making us talk about the things you wanted us to talk about. Tell you what, I'll confess, I am like you. I do not celebrate my birthday at work. I don't go to any work parties whatsoever where we have the sort of, you know, we will typically come in for a big day, and then half of that is socializing. And I'm like, okay, socializing, we're not working, right? And I'm off.
Yeah,
I used
That's an
to
afternoon
go in
off.
for the free food, congratulate the person retiring,
Nice.
and then go sit down at my desk.
Yeah.
yeah. When
Yeah,
you do that, mate, just go in. Oh, what you got there? Oh, pizza, nice. Yoink. Right,
Yeah,
see you in
if
a bit.
they are socializing, we are not working. If we are not working, I don't need to be here.
Congratulations, have a nice life. I'm going back to work.
I mean, I promise I'm not a miserable git, but this is just sort of like it's just sort of like a principle that I've lived on. I mean, when I left my last job, I'd been there for like nearly 10 years. You know, I was known, people knew me, like, was not to me and all, but I was the sort of guy that people go to. But then when it came to me actually leaving, I was like, look, come on, I was like, I don't, because I'd seen other people have it like big send off and all this stuff, and I'm like, at the end of the day, I'm leaving you guys in the lurch. I'm going to screw up your work patterns for your shifts for the next few weeks until you find a replacement. Don't reward me for it. I don't want a card. I don't want a gift. I don't want anything like that. And to be fair to them, they respected that, and I was like, just don't. But yeah, I don't want the fuss. You know, at the end of the day, I'm abandoning you. Yeah, I am that mother who can't look after that baby, so I've stuck it in a cardboard box and I've left it out. I've left you outside of the church. I'm leaving you. Don't find me.
Yeah.
Don't reward me. I'm not deserving of your love. You're not my family anymore.
Healthy separation, man. Like for a couple of like LinkedIn is the worst invention of recent years.
Oh my God.
Because it's like your professional life, and no offense, I'm sorry, guys. It's women. It's women. Women. We've turned LinkedIn into Facebook.
No, listen. I'm actually gonna sort of push back on that because I've got a couple
White
of mates. I've got no. It's not even about the women. I've got a couple of mates that I work with in the friend group, and they are like linked. You know, they love their LinkedIn. The kind of posts, the absolute cringe they post on their LinkedIn. I don't know if it's intentionally meant to be cringe so that they can just sort of so the other mates can find it, loop it back into the group and be like, what are you doing, you twat? But it can be like, you know,
synergy transition
to Australia is the next chapter of my career. And then they'll start going off, you know, all the hardships and challenges I faced, but I'm here through hard work and dedication with a company that I love and a product that I believe in.
Transitioning to a better life and yada 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 yada.
I am just so corporately synergistic right here. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I can't stand it. I can't. It makes me ill.
To answer your question, John, I do have, like, to be fair, like I quite a few people at my work know what I do. I'm not specifically this channel, but they know I've got obviously the main channel that I don't really post on anymore. I will be again at some point. I need this break. Like total break, that is. but yeah, that like I let people know. It's no skin off my nose.
Yeah. If you're asking, I go out of my way to never mention it. I don't talk about film excessively at work, and I basically, I kind of pretend I'm not interested in film at all, and I basically focus on stats and a different hobby. I've basically decided that one hobby is the hobby I talk about at work.
What's that hobby?
This?
True crime.
I alternate between cooking and running of the hobbies that I talk about at work. But
I only do one of those. Guess which one?
Yeah, so that's how I do it. But I just like, I don't want any. I don't like the links joined. I might become a friend with someone if they leave, but I'll just put something out here. Like, I maybe have one or two things that HR wouldn't approve of on here, that are fairly normal opinions, but there's probably something in here that HR wouldn't be too happy about. And if you're just like, yeah, here's me, here's my channel, and you're me, like, yeah, that's if I get fired, this is very clippable. But
I don't
you
know.
know,
I mean,
I keep that stuff out of my work. I would never bring politics into work, but work has a way of reaching out to find you and say, like, hi, you expressed an opinion that we do not like somewhere else. You might be really good at your job, but we are going to have to shit can you now. So you got to be, you gotta watch out for that.
They did it to me. I'd just be like, "Oy vey," and then you'd hear.
I'm told that makes it worse these days.
Apparently so, yeah. Apparently so. Hopefully not Green Party supporters. Do you know about what they did? This councillor from the Green Party, right? Wrote to where was it? They wrote to Israel, right? I can't remember exactly where it was.
Yeah.
But they basically asked this person to explain why they still needed to twin with that town. They basically wanted to decouple, like they didn't want this twinning thing anymore with this thing. And they gave them a deadline of until October the 7th to respond.
Oh God.
Like, yeah. It's just like, we know we know what you're doing. We know what you're doing. I mean, that is a pretty good. That's a pretty good shit post that you send, but we know.
See what's going on here. Distant Night a while ago. I apologize. Cautionist. Terrible OPSEC. Don't listen to Tube Prop. Double feature horror show. It's all any of you need. True. Yes. Sorry. This is an entirely valid supplement for socializing. And if you're not going out anywhere, we will cover the gap. How are you, friend? How are you doing? Oh yeah. Yeah, me too. Yeah. Okay. Well, take it easy. There you go. There's your socializing. I hope I looked into the camera for that. There you go.
Yeah.
Thank you again, Distant Night. It's very much appreciated. My goodness. Oh, poor Pulse. It's a really good movie. Yeah, as you say, even the format of the story tells the point that Kurosawa is unbelievably presciently making. The fact that your two key characters don't even meet till basically the movie's done. There's half an hour to go, and they finally meet up. That's a story about how disconnected people are, and it's amazing. Lawrence Hendry called it earlier, and I want to credit him because he absolutely got it. Because he made a point about this sort of imagery when the people, and if you haven't watched Pulse, this won't make any sense, but we've been going for 59 minutes at this point. So I assume you're quite committed if you watch this far in, and you won't mind if we don't explain the film. But this kind of imagery of just people turn into ghosts, which feels like a very crude way of describing it. It's a bit more like they give up the will to exist.
Mm-hmm.
And they just disappear, which is the analogy for you give up taking part in society and you just turn into you go for your pod life.
You could maybe consider yourself terminally online.
Yeah. Oh, terminally online. I love it. I love it.
Well,
but Lawrence
I
made the
mentioned
great...
earlier that I was thinking it was going to go one way, which is the grad student was talking about the ghosts escaping the afterlife and coming into the world. I was expecting the main characters to be the ghosts who gradually find their way into the real world. And then it switches around and the afterlife is lonely and everybody's talking about being lonely and then escaping into the real world. And then it turned around and turned into a post-apocalyptic horror.
I don't think any of us saw that coming.
The boss's soliloquy about don't talk to your friends, the truth will hurt you more than anything. And then 15 minutes later, he ends up locking himself in a forbidden room and turning into a wall shadow.
Yeah. I think all of us were probably surprised with the direction it took. And on the matter of the wall shadows, Lawrence did call it early ago. So I want to give him credit because he absolutely got this. I don't think it's... Yeah, it's worth pointing out, that the shadows left behind very clearly a reference to Hiroshima and Nagasaki, aka basically a new technology appears and it has a devastating impact. And I think it's incredibly telling, like for a Japanese person to compare the arrival of the internet to, well, the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. It's like, it's very, very powerful. Very, very powerful indeed. And maybe this is a bit lefty of me. We've got to balance it out on this channel. I feel less able to contest that, but I wouldn't. I think Kurosawa called it, and the retreat into pod life. Did we say hikikomori? The hikis?
Yes.
The otaku, those guys, they were provided a kind of life in which it was, you could subsist without relying on others, and it starts a kind of chain reaction where the incentive is to avoid pain and risk by isolating yourself and disappearing. And that, if you look at the Japanese birth rate, pretty bloody devastating, isn't it? Apologies for swearing. I've sworn quite a few times this stream, guys. I apologize.
The hikikomori self-isolate. The ecchi, the otaku, get isolated by social pressure.
True.
Not the self-isolation of the hikikomori.
Yeah, it's a valid distinction. It definitely builds up. It builds up. You see it, and I'm sorry to reference it because it's almost a cliche. But think about Evangelion and Shinseiki Evangelion, and just the dilemma in that film is and series is like, do you exist? Can you exist with other people? Like it's a very Japanese concern. And it's a way of thinking that I think for Anglos is difficult to think, is that really an issue? But it shows up so many times in Japanese culture. You think it really has to be.
Well, Japanese culture is an archetype of shame culture versus the guilt culture of, say, Britain or the US, where it's Christianity versus social pressure and Shintoism, where you get shamed into following the family line, the corporate line, whereas in Anglo cultures and Scandinavian cultures, it's more individualistic, but you're held in line by your belief structure as guilt for what you've done wrong, not what should be done, but what you've actually done.
That is a very good distinction. And there's a book called The Japanese Mind, which is a collection of academic essays, which would probably be interesting for people who want to know more. But it's a very good distinction. Yeah, the way that obligation via shame is conveyed is that's a really nice way of distinguishing it. We are definitely more individualistic, but there is like a different mechanism that brings us in line, as it were.
Christian guilt, Judeo-Christian guilt.
Yes.
Whereas Muslim culture is shame-based, but
you know, I'll risk this now. I haven't fully thought this through. This is something I'm interested in. I need to read a bit of Pareto, but I do think it's how can I say? Every society needs a kind of mechanism of control. Was it sort of Pareto calls it? Was it the political logic, the political story? And I don't tend to think Anglo countries are any less controlled. I think we have the level of control that are needed for us, and it looks a lot more free. And I tend to think it's a bit. So it's like we don't need to see the trunction. We have different ways of being steered and controlled.
We have the individual conscience that gets beaten into you. What's good, what's bad.
That's it. It's very Althusser, very Louis Althusser. There is a what's he called? I'm sorry, it's that bourbon. Something's apparatus. Ideological state apparatus basically is ours. That's why we don't need guards and policemen with machine guns, is because we have our instincts are already aligned to the function that our side was. We're going quite far off from Kurosawa here. I apologize. I will yank us back on because I haven't fully thought it through, but I sort of have a theory that every society is a trunction and just some people need to see the trunction. And we don't. But I got a bit of reading for this. I don't know if this will work because it doesn't like me showing books, but there's Ghost in the Well, Dr. Prepper answering your question, which was quite helpful. Nightmare Cinema is also very good. That's a good book. Nightmare Japan is a good book on it. And also Flowers from Hell is good on Japan. Why are they blurring her face? Got it. Flowers from Hell by Jim Harper is also good. I've been reading up on our Japanese horror. The closest I got to an explanation for the Forbidden Room aspect is that red is a color associated with spirituality in Japan. So think of the Shinto gates would typically be red, and they're used to symbolize some kind of transition of a spiritual nature when you pass through them. I'm getting the name of them messed up here. But in this case, creating a kind of portal by doing an outline in red is symbolic of that spiritual meaning. So basically, putting the red on makes anything a spiritual gate. So that's what I'm saying. But the fact that it's got to be a portal, it can be some kind of stand-in for a screen, is what I would say. I hope that clears that up. I see. I'm sorry. I've derailed here horribly. Dr. Prepper saying, I've thought for a long time, individualism versus collectivism is not the real issue. It's organization versus disorganization. And yes, an aggregate of isolated individuals is no less mass man in quality than a collective without internal differentiation of rank and role. Oh, I'm really trying to keep it on Kurosawa's film, but this is too interesting. Yes. God, I mean,
sorry, folks. What did I miss? Unfortunately, your wife was taking too long to make me a drink, so I had to go make one myself.
I have to do it. She let us all down.
Yeah.
Well, I will. Dr. Prepper, I'll say I won't go. I like it. I could go into it. I think we're stretching people's patience enough as it is. But what you're hinting at really is that the total uselessness of the left-right dichotomy, and really you're talking about kind of the best way is probably the way of scrap left-right as a dichotomy and talk about a triangle where you have individualism, equality, and hierarchy as something a bit more accurate. But I will. Okay. I hope that helped, and I hope that was interesting. And we will get back to Pulse. We were talking about the shadows on the wall TCG, and when people disappear into shadows, aka basically get absorbed into the digital world, it looks like Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And the idea is that Kurosawa, the director, is basically saying both cases are a new technology coming in and devastating Japan. It's bold. It is maybe I'm looking for the word polemic. Maybe it's very provocative, but I don't think it's unfair. How do you feel about that?
No, I don't think that's too much of a stretch. To be fair, I mean, look how much society has changed since the advent of the internet. I mean, the way
your phones, your computers, everything's tied in.
And I look at this specifically from the younger generation, right? Because we are really the last generation that lived in a time before the internet in its infancy and what it became to. So we had time to adapt to it, right? Whereas I look at like my two younger kids. Well, actually, I'll say all three of them really. They grew up in a time where the internet's all they've known, you know, and a lot of their social interactions now are all online. Like they rarely go out. They rarely, like, you know, go to a friend's house and play, because the internet will cater to that for them. You know, I sort of said it earlier about LAN parties, but like, you know, back in the day, if I wanted to play a game with my mate and he didn't have it, I would either take the game, or sometimes I'd pack the console with the games. I'd take it over there, spend a weekend there, come back, yada yada yada, and vice versa. That was what we were like. But if I was growing up in today's world, we wouldn't have the same sort of like friendship that we do now. Where, you know, it was literally like we would spend all our time together. Like I'd stay his one night, he'd stay mine, vice versa. It was always like, we didn't even have to ask. It was just a thing, right? But it would never happen nowadays, because it would just be all online through Discord, through PlayStation Network, through Xbox, and all that. You know, the internet has removed a lot of the actual real life social interactions that even like dating nowadays, it's all bloody online. It's all like through apps and stuff. Like fortunately, you know, I've never had to experience the horror, I think, of online dating. I mean, I see, you know, there are successful relationships that come from it, yada yada yada, but I will never be able to wrap my head around it, because I feel like I'm very old school in that regard. But nowadays, I think, you know, kids, bless them, they probably find that to be the most frightening thing. They probably want to hit them up on like Tinder or whatever first before actually having to speak to somebody in real life. It's weird.
I'm one step back from you. My first game console was Pong and table tennis. I grew up in an age where it's dial-in BBSs and Genie, and getting onto the school's mainframe and using Usenet as your posting.
Do you remember the Apple PCs? Not the Apples, but the Apple computers, the old school Apple computers. Podcan, yeah. The old
IBM XT. But you take your phone and place it on the rubber cups for your modem.
But the thing is, though, but you look at you look at the jump in. But if you look at the jump in technology, right? You know, from
Rare Poe in the chat.
Hey Poe.
Hello, Poe.
Hey Poe.
But if you look at the jump in technology, say from sort of like your childhood compared to say like mine, we're talking what the 80s, 90s for myself, essentially what like apologies if I'm insulting you by your age, but you go from like a vinyl to a cassette. It's sort of a similar thing. It serves a purpose. It's more convenient. Then you might go from a cassette to a CD.
Dude, I went from LPs and 8-track cassettes and CDs. It's
I mean, I appreciate being age mogged, definitely, but it's always welcome. But I think you're getting to something really important. Is like,
but there's a common
tape to CD is like at some you still physically own, and now it's just like who owns anything?
Well, Sony, let's say for example, Sony came out the other week and said that from 2028 they're going to stop all physical discs now. So you will never own if a new game comes out, well, good luck. Good luck because essentially, it's just a lease. Now, I mean, I'm going to be one of those like I'm sorry, but a few splinters in my arse here because I'm a bit of a fence sitter when it comes to the idea of digital games. I have pre-ordered GTA 6. I am getting it digitally, which was the only option for it. I don't mind digital games to an extent, but what I want is the choice. If I want to go and buy a game physically, I want to be able to do it. And for me, Sony taking away that choice is absolutely unforgivable. Like how their stock rose after that announcement is beyond me, but I hope that they pay because it will probably be the last PlayStation that I get from them, if that's the journey, or for anything for that matter. But yeah, literally that Klaus Schwab quote, that you will own nothing and you'll be happy. It literally feels like that's coming to fruition now, right? But back in our day, Murgoot, like our respective day, you could have my TV might have been a little bit more compact than say your TV, or the radio might have been a bit more compact, but it was still sort of like the same technology, but it was like it was more modern. But essentially nowadays, like you said, everything nowadays is bundled into this little thing here, right? And this will serve as your MP3 player, it serves as your calculator. I used to have a watch for the calculators, right? It serves as it's your calendar, it's your communications device, it's your internet, it's everything you need is packed into this little thing here, and it is so addictive. And it's so my boy was talking to me today, and he was like, "Dad, he was like, I don't think I've ever been bored." Or he's like, he said something like, "I don't think I've really ever been bored." And it's like, I'm not surprised. You'll never know what it's like to be truly bored because you have this. Even if if you have a power cut, you'll still be able to bounce on the internet with this thing. You'll still be able to do everything you can do. I remember when it was power cuts, candles out, board games. Just try and do anything just to pass the time until the power came back on. But that doesn't impact.
I remember my school's mainframe. They got the money. They got $20,000 and upgraded it to 2 gigabytes of disk, and we were all cheering.
But it's kind of like but everything that you wanted to do as a kid in terms of social stuff, everything I wanted to do, it had to be in person. It had to be in. We had to be touching grass. We had to be out there. Breathing the fresh air. We had to be living in the world. But nowadays kids do not have to do that. It is purely optional, and many of them find the convenience of the internet too convincing for them to go out and have a ride on a bike with a mate, or to play a game of football, or
it doesn't help when their parents are so strict, they're so afraid of the world due to media that they keep their kids home and have
I mean,
month in advance.
I think I'll throw in there the other thing is hang on, Mavericks kind of said it already, but I'll throw something else in, is that you're a tired, stressed parent and you've got a device that makes your kid shut up. And maybe you can then get some time on your own very addictive advice. It's like, I'm thinking of the Morgan Freeman quote in Seven, where he's just basically saying that you can't hate people for doing what's easier. This is what we always do. We didn't have the option to take the easy way, but it's there now. And it's bloody hard to ask people to do it.
Yeah, and to a degree, I can't blame them.
Yeah.
Yeah, to a degree, I can't blame them because you know, in our shoes, we'd probably be doing the same. We'd probably have, you know, we would probably be doing exactly the same because of convenience. You know,
of course we would win better.
Yeah, you know, when I found out that I could get rid of my disc player, my portable disc player that skipped every time I took a step, in favor for an MP3 player that I could plug into my computer and download my music onto, and I knew that I could walk, run, jump, hop, skip, fall, you know, crash, and the music that I'm listening to will still be playing. It's a no-brainer.
Of course.
Yeah.
32 megabytes, inject it into my veins. 10 songs, let's go.
Well, as a kid anymore, it's here's your tablet, shut up. And it takes away a lot of their curiosity, physical curiosity. They can't figure out how to repair things on their own because that's been taken away from them. I mean, I hit 13 and I got a family work permit. I've been filing W-2s since I was 13. So
tax cattle is strong.
If you were any older, Murgoot, they would have chucked you down a mine then. By the
for the mine.
That was the thing, wasn't it?
It's my family owned their own business, so by the time I was 13, I was working as a janitor and then a delivery man. And it's one of those that my free time was either after school activities like theater, various school clubs, work, or when I had free time, I was out on my bike or out hiking somewhere.
Had a paper round, good times.
I was a glass collector at the Royal British Legion.
Nice. Disson Knight threw in super chat with a question. Thank you very much, Disson Knight. Bankrolling us as ever, very much appreciated. And I'm getting through the bourbon, so it's very much it's Bullet Bourbon. If anyone is keeping track, you know, it's a good bourbon. I wouldn't say it's an amazing one. It's just a good, reliable bourbon. It's not like Yellowstone? Is that the really good one? Nice
Sergeant Sniper's
Mishter is good.
Sergeant Sniper's Daily of Choice.
Oh, he goes for Bullet. Good. I like a wild turkey. Actually, I tried that recently. That was a very nice one. Anyway, just Knight has asked. Said COVID's. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. Compounded internet reliance for social connections. True in the aggregate. Certainly encouraged the spread of it. Did it make a notable difference in your kids' TCG?
To a degree. I mean, when you were literally having school done on Teams and, you know, the essentially the reduction of work. I mean, my eldest actually it was his GCSE year when that all hit. Yeah, so he was one of those that essentially didn't do his exams because weren't allowed to, and he was one of the unfortunate ones where they actually hit him for the. His grades were lower than probably what they would have been if he'd actually sat down and took the exams just based on the coursework. Now, there were potentially reasons for that, which I will not go into here. But at the end of the day, they looked at his previous work and made a judgment that, based on his current position, would not. I mean, he still passed. Don't get me wrong, but we're talking like, you know, he should have been here, and he was like just there. But he's still like
B levels versus A level.
Yeah, exactly. But you know, it was annoying.
It didn't affect my children because my kids were adults by the time COVID rolled around. It did affect them. I know that for a fact, talking with my youngest, that she was isolated at home. She couldn't do much, but they were far more afraid of COVID than I was.
Yeah. What I will say actually is that one of the things I did find was my kids were quite resilient to it, you know, in terms of things like computer use and things like that. I mean, again, they grow up in a technology age. They're gonna be on the computers. Obviously, it's my job as a parent to make sure that they're to limit what they do and where they go, you know, what they're doing and what they're, you know, and how long they're on it for. So they were quite resilient and always quite respectful. I remember as a kid, if my mum told me to turn the PlayStation, I'm not doing it. But they're cool. Like even here, my daughter gets on this for about an hour before to play a little game. But I'll always say to her, like, when it's time to come off for this, yeah, cool, shuts it all down for me, gets it all ready. Like there's no sort of like, you know, like you see those videos of like kids when they get their iPad taken from them and they turn into an absolute gibbering wreck.
Yeah.
Never had any of that. I'm a very lucky man with the kids that I've got. They're very, very good kids. Very, very good kids. And yeah, things like social media as well. Absolutely none of that until they're 18. None of that at all. You know, I don't need Andy Burnham telling me or up until that Starmer telling me, you know, what time my kids can log on and log off of social media and how old they have to be, because they don't have it. So yeah, completely block them from that.
You got your money's worth for that super chat there, Distant Night. Yeah. Good job.
So yeah,
what we got on screen, I think it's still super relevant to this, about like how we stay real, like with real nourishing human connections when there is this, like, I mean, they're like forbidden rooms in this film, but really it's like a vortex. The fact that it pulls you into it is very revealing. They're not really talking about ghosts, guys. I've got this still up, but I'll just show you what I've got here. This is from Nightmare Japan, which decided this was a very important bit to highlight. Its write-up of Pulse is very good, I will say. And it just highlights the dialogue here. Harué, by the way, we had some discussion. I think clearly Harué, best girl in this film. Yeah, she is. Come on. Harué, best girl.
Oh, suits you, sir.
Oh. I mean, Michi is lovely.
I mean, if there was any woman in the world, right, or in Japan, who could say press print screen key.
Lovely. Is that what it was like, guys?
Just inject that into my veins.
Yellow fever striketh.
On this section of the internet, you're never safe from it. Yes, emo computer nerd GF is clearly best girl. Correct, Dr. Prepper. Anyway, so this is from Nightmare Japan from, I forgot the name. Anyway, look at the book. It's very good. Harué goes a bit emo, saying, I always wondered what it's like to die. From when I was really little, I was always alone. Kawashima asks any parents or family. He's pretty Shinji-like, if anyone's keeping track. And Harué says, sure, but they're irrelevant. Family separate. Kawashima,
yeah, I thought that was a bit of a brutal line. Like, I need to know more. What? Why are they irrelevant? What did they do to you?
Yeah, I think, you know, she works computers. She'd already got kind of absorbed.
Did they limit your screen time, Harué? Is that what you're saying?
But she ends up talking about, like, she gets into this really interesting territory of like the people who are sucked into the internet world, who are living that way rather than engaging with real people. Like, are they really alive? How are they different from ghosts? In fact, ghosts and people are the same, whether they're alive or dead. She's talking about the fact that society is so far gone that basically we're all like, are any of us alive? Like, it's Uncle Ted does not put it as harsh as this.
I did think if Teddy Boy was watching this film, I feel like he'd be having a whale of a time. Just one big giant "I told you so," which he'd probably say for White Noise as well. Watch it; it's worth it.
I fancy it. We talked about this a while ago, and it still kind of haunts me. But this, she talks about like the screen version of you is kind of like not really alive, living forever. And it's like, do you remember when we talked about the idea that like someone could be watching these videos in 20 years someone could be, unless they're deleted, if they're not archived, someone could be like randomly picking them up in 40 years when we're gone, or 50 years when we're gone, depending on how healthy you're feeling. And like the idea of this is out here as like a digital ghost, you know, I'm here talking to you wherever you are, and just hoping that you are okay. Like, that's weird to me. That feels super weird that there is now always a version of me doing that.
Well,
and by the way, when I'm not looking in the camera, it's because for me, TCG and Murgoot are down here. So that's why I look down there constantly.
It's the Max Headroom paradox. I mean, they were talking about this in the 80s with the onset of advanced television, advanced computer networks, that kind of thing, and just freaking everybody out then. I mean, look at war games. With
war games?
1980s kids, well, not really kids, but kid hacks into NORAD and, do you want to play a game? Thermonuclear war, and accidentally sets off DEFCON 3. It's,
well,
shall we play a game? Yes, Maverick, I misquoted it. But yeah, they've always talked about technology overreaching what society's able to handle.
I mean, so just go back to your little monologue bit where you know, hope you're okay. At least you're not Franz Reichelt. If you don't know who that is, this was a man who, back in the sort of late 19th century, early 20th century, built himself a parachute suit that he was convinced worked in the same manner as a normal parachute, in that, you know, fall from an aircraft. His parachute suit will essentially protect you from any sort of damage. It will, you know, glide safely down. Did a few tests with some crash test dummies, allegedly, from the 5th floor of apartments, and basically he was like, this will work. I want to test it or demonstrate it by jumping off the Eiffel Tower. Okay. And he pestered councils. He pestered the authorities for months, if not probably months, to do this jump, right? You know, no bungee rope in case no sort of safety measures, anything like that. Yada. Anyway, eventually they relent and they're like, fine, right, try it out then, right? So on the 4th of February, 1912, right, Franz Reichelt climbs up in his parachute suit. Right, let me. I'm going to pull up an image.
Basically,
of it,
one of the modern glider suits.
Kind of. Let me share my screen with you so you can sort of get an idea of it. Now, it was quite a heavy suit as well, so it kind of defeats the object. Anyway, so he was filmed. He was filmed.
Oh, do you want me to share this?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Okay, hang on. I'll take off our ghost and get you this.
So this was
what a swanky looking dude.
Yeah. So it's quite cool. Okay. Yes, it's quite cool. If you want to zoom in on that Wikipedia one.
Yeah. Very swanky.
Yeah. So anyway, on the 4th of February, 1912, climbs up the Eiffel Tower. There's a crowd of people watching. They've actually got cameras. They're actually recording it as well. And he jumps and he falls to his death.
Oh.
He goes splat, and it's all caught on camera. It's this image here. You can actually watch the video. I believe it might even be on YouTube, but yeah.
Of course, it's on YouTube.
He.
Of course, it's on YouTube.
Yeah, he went splat. Landed head first, I believe, as well. So, you know, his final moment will be remembered as probably one of the most tragic yet somewhat funny sort of fails.
Yeah, that's
his legend. I have an idea. Man. I want to try my idea. Fine, try the idea. It didn't work. And it stopped in the most spectacular way possible.
Yeah. Oh,
Marussia, from way back. Mind you, I'm noticing that the younger Gen Z and Gen Alpha are less able to detect satire. They have a hard time detecting it. Everybody always has in the printed medium. It's why on Usenet, certain boards insisted if you were being sarcastic or satirical, you ended your post with /S for sarcasm. Otherwise, you'd get flamed to hell and back.
On the internet, helpful, very helpful. Yeah, Mauricio. I mean, Mauricio is putting out some gold in this chat. Yeah, when you go into public space or transport and everyone is physically present but all on their phones, it's eerie. Yeah, talking about like, are you really alive? Yeah, I'm feeling it. Like, these devices allow us to just disappear from society. Physically, we're there. Mentally, so true, so true. I feel I should rent. This has just been too interesting. Gosh darn it! This movie got us talking about things that we went straight for the themes because the movie just did a perfect job. I'm gonna wrench us back here, guys. How scary was this movie? Did it spook you? And I'm choosing a specific frame to ask that question with.
Spook, no. Freak me out, yes.
Ooh.
Uncomfortable, yeah. That bit when what's his name? Is hang on, I've got the cast name here because I'm terrible with names, as we all know.
No
Toshio Yabe. That bit when that girl was walking like really slowly. Do you know what? Me and my boy, again, we're watching this bit and she's sort of like doing that really sort of slow walk. And my boy was like, oh my God, this is like Obsession. The way, but when she was walking backwards, but it was like, yeah, so she's doing this like really weird walk forward and her face is just like that the whole time. And then, yeah, when she looks up, when she looks over the sofa, I was like, mate, uncomfortable. Don't like that. Get it out. Put it in the bin. Get it out.
Professional dancer, she was able to do the weird movements and then
not
just
surprised. It was
hit
very
you with this.
eerie. Yeah, that was fudged, man. That's
also
that is horrible.
That was creepy. I wasn't that freaked out by.
All right, big man. And I'll tell you what, the other bit I didn't like as well. Not didn't like, but I thought it was cool. Was when what's his fucking name? Ryosuke, I think his name is Ryosuke. Went in the taped room, and they had that ghost in the corner. It looked like friggin' Michael Myers. Just a pale white face.
This guy, this moment.
That's the one. Yeah, that's Michael Myers.
Yeah,
man. That's Michael Myers.
And there it is. It's a physical ghost as well.
Oh yeah, that bit when he's like, "Yeah, I'll chase you. I'll charge you down, then you'll disappear." And he runs over. He's like,
he's got the information from the grad student who is 100% wrong on everything.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hey, Devontae.
Hey, Devontae. Good to see you. Murgoot, how about you on this? I like this. It's I'll get with my spoopiness. I think creeped out is also a good description. It's very unnerving. How about yourself, Murgoot? How did this work for you on the scare level?
Not really scary. It was eerie. The imagery was great, but dread versus scare, it was more dread. Just slow creeping dread.
Yeah. I think that's fair. There was a very deliberate dodge of jump scares.
I was just about to say that. That's one thing I loved about this film, is that there was no jump scares. It was almost like there was no action like to these scenes. The scare it's the scare for me was the anticipation that build, and nothing actually comes of it. Like when it got to this bit here, I'm thinking like, and then but it never comes, and you just sort of left. It goes to the next scene, and you're just left with that. Okay, and breathe.
If you in classic horror theory, all the way back to Hitchcock, if you pay off with a big Wah!
Mm.
And a big sound effect, it releases the tension.
Yeah.
And people can relax again.
Mm.
And the scare goes away. And then you have to build it up again. This film brutally never really lets you have that. Like the closest thing maybe is Harué shooting herself. But they mostly just force you to sit in this horrible uncomfortableness rather than giving you the easy way out.
Yeah, I think for that, and actually for that, I was a bit bummed out because there was no blood.
Yeah, it was a bit.
It was a bit like,
where is it? It was a bit cheapy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Where is it? I've actually got that moment. Zero blood, so it's okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I would absolutely concur with you guys. I was super creeped out. Waifu was quite spooked out, by the way. And yeah, Panjit, what I'm thinking of is how Hitchcock talks about the scare as a tension release. You know, that's what I'm thinking of particularly. Like he liked to let you, the audience, know something and not let the characters know. So you would be thinking it. The example he always gives is knowing there's a bag with a bomb in it under a table and the characters don't know, but you do. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about, and that's the example he would use. But for this, like, I found the same things super eerie, super creepy. The fact it's happening in plain sight without the traditional horror music to give you a big Conjuring style blowout that releases tension.
Can I tell you a scene?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
No. Sorry, sorry, I thought you finished.
Well, I was going to say the one thing that properly freaked me out, that moved into like distinctly, this is uncomfortable, don't like this territory, was a moment when I think it's Michi or Yonko is checking out after Yabe, and she finds his shadow because he's already gone, and he's just saying "Tasukete, help me, Tasukete, Tasukete," and the surround sound from my speakers made it sound like it was coming like way over there.
What?
Illegal scare, absolutely illegal sound mastering, because that freaked me out so much. Oh my gosh, that freaked me out.
I need to invest in surround sound.
Oh god, it was horrible.
One of the
really
things. One of the things I quite liked about this was actually some of the practical effects that they implemented. The opening scene where the guy, ties his bow tie a little too tightly. I'm saying that for the YouTuber algorithm.
I thought get away with it.
I thought the effect on that was pretty damn good. I quite like the older stretch of the neck. That is just
super nasty.
That's nasty. Mate, that is brutal. But then there's this other scene later on in the film, and I think it might be Michi again, when she's walking out, and then you've got that abandoned like warehouse sort of like place, and there's that woman that's on the top. And what I really liked about this film is how the camera angles were almost designed, almost set up in a way for the audience member to pay attention to the background.
Yes,
because there's that bit where she's standing there and you're thinking like, what's going on there? And then Michi just sort of randomly turns around and then she just jumps, like she just climbs over and just falls down. And I'm thinking like, oh, maybe is it going to turn to Michi, go like that, and then you see on it, no, just bang, straight flat. I was like,
no cut.
That was. Franz Reichelt would have been very, very impressed.
I did wonder if you were thinking of that moment when you mentioned Franz Reichelt.
I was like, she tried the parachute as well. Didn't work.
Yeah, it's a super subtle edit, but I don't catch it. I looked it up, and basically the actress jumps on a bungee, and then they had a dummy that they dropped, and then they just cut the footage at the right moment.
Yeah, it's just great. It's really well done.
It's a way of shooting it that just doesn't release the tension for you. It's brutal.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But these shots, but these like shots here where people are walking in the back, or like you'd have, like I think there's in the library one of the scenes where
yes,
you're
there's
talking,
someone in the background,
and you can see in the background it's just that. It's just that.
She never turns round.
Yeah. Or what about, and again, really subtle, again, back in the library, it opens, the scene opens with a girl like pushing a trolley with books, hair's down, you can't see her face, but you can tell there's something not right about her. And then when it goes, and as it goes past a bunch of shelves, you see Ryosuke, but you don't see the girl walk past with the trolley, and you're like,
I did not catch that, but
did you not? Oh, yeah.
The books, I think it's Ghost in the Well reference that basically, if you watch it and look at the extras in the background will frequently just disappear in between shots to sort of build up the sense of discontinuity and make you wonder who's a ghost or not. And just, it kind of fits in with how basically the apocalypse happens in the background until it's so far gone that you're like, oh, wait, there's no one around.
Yeah, literally. And now I'm starting to appreciate this even more now, actually, because it's all stuff that's going on in the background for me. You know, you've got these characters obviously that you're following, and they've got their own like different story arcs that they're going through. But yeah, there's stuff going on constantly in the background, like whether it's like entities like in the background, sort of like, you know, peering around things, and or like you got there like full on shots of them, or like you just see people like tearing down the red tapes and going into rooms. It's all going on, but you're supposed to be watching the main characters, but all the interesting stuff's behind. It's all what's going on around them.
It would be fab on a rewatch.
I think it would, yeah.
When he's in the computer room and the chair just rolls off from stage left.
Yes.
Yeah. What is it? When he's in that, he goes into just an arcade. I got the huevos to have a spooky scene in just like a brightly lit, noisy arcade. Kurosawa,
or the convenience store.
Madman.
She's trying to get the guy's attention. She sees him off in the corner. He's just staring at her with one eye, and then starts melting, and she runs out of the store.
Yeah.
But that arcade scene actually was really good, because again, like, it's all bustling, busy, and then like just before you know it, there's nothing. There's no sound, nothing. Mate, I'm actually getting a bit annoyed now, because I should have seen this apocalypse thing coming a mile away.
It built it. Look, it doesn't give you the standard thing. It doesn't give you anything standard. It's doing something totally different. By the way,
it was
this creepy guy who Ryosuke finds like the internet just shows to him. That's a director. Just so you know, he put himself a little cameo. Just so you know.
So behind the scenes chat, I did ask whether the director self-inserted himself into the film. So the answer is yes, but just not the character I was thinking of. I thought he put himself in as a Haruhi, the hot IT lady.
Could be
just because of the surnames being similar.
We'd all love to insert into. Anyway, we'll move on.
The way the apocalypse clicked for me was seeing the C-130 coming down with 2 engines on fire, and you're realizing that people are disappearing everywhere.
Horace, I just want to pull you up on that. I don't think this director is Neil Druckmann.
Oof. I see. I see what you did there.
You naughty dog.
Oh, see. Yeah, it creeps up on you. It's but you know what? We have I'm gonna have to do it, guys, before we get into the sort of more evaluation stage. I'm afraid I've got time limits. I do have to ask though. I came back to this after a break. As I say, I got all but the last 47 minutes done. I had to take a break, and then I came back to it. And I'm going to have to say, guys, I do wonder, as much as I admire it, did it drag?
Yeah.
Did it go a little slow towards the end? Did it lose direction?
Yeah, I also think one of the things, and I don't think this is a fault of the film, but Japanese translating from Japanese to English is something that is notoriously difficult, because there's a lot of words and phrases in Japanese, in the Japanese language, that don't quite. And I certainly, from conversations with people that do speak Japanese, that I know this, but there's some things that don't quite fit perfectly. So some of the dialogue felt well choppy. It was like, just as an example, when they're up on that roof and they're doing the flowers, and I think it's the
Plant
Michi
shop owner.
Yeah, the boss, when she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go check on Yabe. I'm gonna go check on Yabe," and he just starts to go off on this like this monologue about, is your mate worth it? If not, it deserves to die, and all this stuff. But it just did not. It was like it just came so out of the blue. It just was not. It wasn't relevant. I feel like, if that was a direct translation that was accurate, did they cut some scenes out? Was it a bit of a dick, so things like that? But it just came out of nowhere, out of left field.
Everyone has said this about this scene. We were all thrown off by it. So don't worry. It's like DK,
I was thrown off
waifu.
By the time she left, I realized, Boss is affected by this too. He's going mental.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, probably. But even still, it just felt like it just felt so like out of left field, that particular speech. Now I'm just wondering if something got lost in translation, whether, if they took another look at it, maybe it could have been recontextualized to make it sound. Yeah, it did feel clunky, but again, that's no fault of the that's no fault of the script, because I don't know what the original script is, and I don't know what, we're looking at a translation, so it's more of like, okay, this is the interpretation they got from it, this is what they're now telling us. I don't really understand what the point of his little speech was, and there were just other little bits as well. Like, I think when they first when they first meet up, Michi and Ryosuke, and it was one of these little things I call. She says to him, like, "Have you got any friends?" And he says, "I think just one." And then she immediately goes, "What was she like?" It's like, you never said.
Waifu asked about this. I cannot say for certain because my Japanese is not great, but I think that is purely an English translation thing. I did not detect. I don't think there's anything in the original Japanese that added a pronoun or a gender pronoun.
But that's what I'm saying. Yeah. But that's exactly what I'm saying. I don't think it's a fault of the actual original dialogue.
Yeah.
I think it's more of the actual translation into English.
Yeah.
And it's notorious. Japanese, things dubbed in English from Japanese film media is so susceptible to that kind of issue, that it does get easily lost in translation.
And Cowboy Bebop has some things where they're like levels of formality.
Yeah.
They can't really get it in, but they have things like saying like, "Oh, why'd you call me you?" And it's like, it doesn't work. But you got to say, really, what's talking about is like, you didn't address me formally enough.
Yeah,
but that's an awkward thing to put in the translation. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Kimi versus Anata, or Boku versus Watashi, sort of thing. But you can't translate that easily. Like German has it. You've got the Sie versus Du, and that's awkward to translate as well. So it's not an isolated issue.
Yeah,
Distant Night has murked me a little bit here. Like, is a discomfort more or less than when proper juice colleagues are discussing Blue Velvet, and she says, "I like running." Why do I say it like that? Hiding my Lynch interests, hiding my Lynchian and Kubrickian power level.
As I put it to Dissident Night, Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Ah, yes, that's why you put it. Yeah. Oh dear, it was a Frank quote. Been too long. Gonna have to rewatch. Thank you, Distant Night. Very much appreciated. Absolute star. Oh yeah, vous voyez and tutoyer. Yeah, Dutzen auf for short in German, like du benutzen. Yeah, hard to translate. Very hard to translate. Yes, we've addressed the pace does lag, but I think part of the problem is this is a story about people who are isolated and wondering what they should do in life. Naturally, the film isolates them and makes them unsure what to do and gives them little direction. This fits the message. The downside is me as an audience member has to watch people be like, what are they doing? What's going on? Where are you going with this? Why you seem aimless? Oh gosh,
Yeah.
there's
I think,
loads of time left. That's really difficult, you know.
I'm just thinking back to that scene where they sort of like assume the gender, if you will. You know, that it could have worked as if she directly sort of said like do you have a girlfriend, let's say, and he could have, and the translation could have been I did have once, and then you know what was she like? That would have translated better than you know. Have you got a friend? Yeah, I did have once. What was she like? Jesus, how do you know? Have you been watching me, love? Have you dispatched her so that you can get into my friend group? Kinky.
I mean, Mitchy, not
Yeah.
worse.
How very J-pop of you.
Okay.
Oh dear. Keeping in mind some time constraints. Yeah, I think that really is like the only bum note I've got is that when you're being a super original film, you step off a standard narrative, but the trouble is like
there were two sequels after this, though, if I'm not mistaken. I think they did make sequels to this.
That's to the American remake.
There's an American remake?
Yes.
Yeah.
2006.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's the only one that's on rent from YouTube currently.
There's a cheeky American remake of J-Horror Arc.
Craven?
All out there. Could happen.
Wait a minute. Hold on a minute. So this was written by Sonzero, I don't know who that is, and Wes Craven. This remake's got Christina Milian in it.
Yeah, okay, I can guess at this. So around that time, mid 2000s, Wes Craven had a deal to do like Wes Craven Presents. The first of these was a film called, I think, They or Them, which was really good. It died, but it was a great movie. I talked about it with Years. Great film. And I think Mind Ripper was another one. Craven's actual involvement was very light because he had complex feelings about being the horror guy, but they offered him quite a bit of money to put his name.
Do you know what? It's
a bunch of unrelated horror movies.
Craven, bless his heart. You know, God.
Yeah,
I hear that often about him. Oh, you know, he's I don't want to be known as that horror guy. I'm kind of getting a bit bored of it now. You know, I wish that people would take me seriously. And you know, no, I'm not going to do horror. I'm gonna make I don't know, a rom-com. I'm going to show these people, and then just someone throws a big bag at him, and that idea just goes right out the window, and it's onto the next horror film. Like, just own it, man. Obviously, you can't now, but you know what I mean. Like,
take a pseudonym and do a rom-com, do a cop show, something.
Yeah, there's a certain amount of Wesley, my dude. You realize you make like millions from this. You could be scrubbing toilets. I mean, like,
yeah,
you know.
I mean, no, if it's, I mean, bearing in mind he'd already made his millions. So if it was really that, if it's really that much of a concern, like, you know, do a passion project, man. Obviously, he can't now. Again, I stress, but
he did get to do one. Was it Music of the Heart?
Right.
You know, that's good.
So he did one, but you know,
he got to do one musical romance.
You know, you can't do like a small independent film or anything like that. But I just, I look, mate. I'm not gonna listen. For all I know, it could have been a negotiating tactic. You know, I mean, do you know what? I really don't want to do horror unless, and then big bag of money gets chucked in. All right, then one more.
Well, Music of the Heart. Devontae got it. Thank you, Devontae. I couldn't remember the name.
So
Music of the Heart.
It makes sense that he, you know, you know, it's fine that he sort of did venture out, but I do find it funny how often I hear him saying like, I do hear him, like, I hear this story about him, like, sort of almost not resentful, but you know, just almost like typecast in a writer's way into being horror. I mean, the man is, he is up there, in terms of, if you had a Mount Rushmore of horror, horror writers, Wes Craven's name is one of them that is going to be argued to be there, right? But to have that reputation, knowing that you want to sort of steer away from it, you don't want to be, you want to try new things. Totally get that. So why do the big bags of money keep stopping you from doing that? You've got big bags of money already. Do something like you did with Music of the Heart. Yeah. Maybe do some more.
You do think like people like, I mean, it's an example that comes to mind most immediately is like David Lynch would do tie-in picture deals. I'll do June for you, and then you fund my was it Blue Velvet, I think, was the one that came immediately after June. Right. So hey, how's that for a tie-in?
Yeah.
All right, I'll do your commercial movie, but you give me the money to do my passion project.
Yeah.
We may be diverting a tiny bit.
Well, it's all linked because of Pulse. Pulse link ties it all back. It's a remake.
It does. Devontae, I haven't. Okay, fair enough. Thank you. Not a musical romance. Would you recommend it though? Would you recommend it? That's what I want to know. I've
never heard of it, so
maybe that's why he just went back to horror.
I'm very proud of him for making it. I really am.
Absolutely fair play. Fair play. You did it, but I just find it funny as a story. Like, as funny as a thing to know about Wes Craven, that it was almost resentful of being so well known and an icon, a horror icon. And then all it takes to derail that passion project is just a big bag of money.
I'll do it.
All right, I'll make Nightmare on Elm Street.
John, Wild at Heart, I think, was 1990. June was 84, and Blue Velvet was 87. Within a year or so, go watch my David Lynch series on lotuseaters.com for only £5 a month, etc., etc. But if you do want to pay £5, you can get close to 30 hours of me talking about David Lynch and Kubrick, amongst all the other things I've done for them. So there you go. And John Graham asking, wasn't Craven a professor before going into porn and then horror? Yes, indeed he was. He was an English professor at a Mormon college, if I recall.
Amazing.
It's my reference for him is Wes Craven, The Man and His Nightmares.
That is
excellent biography of him.
That is a juxtaposition. English professor, Mormon school.
English professor, got into film studies. The university had a couple of cameras at the time, and he had the students make their own movies, and from that he branched out.
Wait a minute, what?
But yeah, he specifically
not those movie students.
Not like that. He got into porn just as an editor, I believe, and then eventually shot a couple of movies with his friend Sean Cunningham. So that's how he ended up in there. Yes, folks, I have a bit of a time limit. I feel we may have stinged Kurosawa's Pulse a tad, but it was so blooming interesting that it's meant to spark conversation about the subject matter. And I'm afraid it worked. It worked too well.
Yeah, you got us this time, Pulse.
Yeah, you got us drawn into the online world. Oh, the irony, the absolute irony. So how do we actually assess this film at this point? Clumsily, given my time limit, I'll have to move us into closing thoughts and scores.
I'll start.
Oh, thank you, Murgoot. Cheers.
It was slow-paced for me, but it ramped up the creeping dread until the last 30 minutes, and then it just went into full apocalypse mode, which the last 30 minutes had its moments, especially when the last male protagonist, I'm going to be lonely with my one friend, and just poof, gone on the ship. But
yeah.
I give it 8 burgers with a side of Hiroshima shadows. But
extremely crispy. What can I say? Yikes. Fair enough. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we'll take that. I'll take that. How about you, TCG?
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with Murgoot. I actually think this is quite a good film. The pacing, as he rightly says, does start a little slow, but I feel like part of the problem is the translation from Japanese to English. I think for me, there were times when I was finding it difficult to sort of like follow the story because of some of those translation issues. But on the whole, I think like it did well. Practical effects again for me. Oh, brilliant! The neck, the falling, the jumping off of the thing, and doing a Franz Reichelt impression was brilliant. I think it was very well done in that regard. I am actually going to increase my original burger rating based on this conversation, which is I've said this many times. Having these conversations, getting the thoughts out there will sometimes actually make me think of this story better. I actually am livid that I didn't see the apocalypse theme going on when all I was doing was looking at the background. It was very frustrating that was the one thing that I missed. It did come as a massive surprise, and it only really cottoned on when they had the TV just sort of sat there out on the outside, just reeling off missing persons' names. Yeah, I rate this highly. I'm actually quite interested to see how the Americans remade this, so I might go and watch that. But this for me is a solid 10 out of 12 burgers. I will go like the black brioche bun burger. I will go with a nice juicy dollop of meat, but I'm going to replace the seeds on the buns with the ashes of the victims of Nagasaki.
Oh, too soon. No, very nice.
Well, I was going to go Hiroshima, but Murgoot already took that, so
No, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
No, that's great to hear. I myself am torn between 9 burgers and 10, and I'm gonna have to say, like, I lean closer to 9. The themes are incredible. The shots are brilliant. Just like in Cure, music and photography, just wonderful. And the decision to just keep it full of dread rather than big payoffs means it just sticks with you. But like the prescience to basically talk about how the internet will ruin us and turn us into bug people, making that in 2001. This is like Thomas Carlyle levels of foresight. Brilliant stuff. I've called this the film that makes Black Mirror obsolete, and I think hopefully the conversation speaks for itself. However, I am an absolute grouch when it comes to pacing, and I'm afraid to say, in being such an original film that it did not follow standard formats, did mean it was off standard paths, and it made it, I'm sorry, in that last 40 minutes, in an already quite substantially sized film, that dragged. And a slow pace can be very, very punishing. And so for me, I'm gonna split it 9.5. But the pacing in the final is brutal. It slams the brakes on, and that is my only complaint about this film. Is just that the last 40 minutes of pacing is brutal. Although we did get to see, where's my lad? I should remember, Yoji. What's his bloody name? The guy.
Koji Yakusho.
That's a guy, Koji Yakusho. Yeah, from Cure and apparently every other Kiyoshi Kurosawa movie. lovely that they slipped him in for basically a cameo. Also, yeah, so I feel harsh, but I'm sorry. Brutal pacing. 9.5 burgers. It could be edited. 9.5 burgers. So still a very strong recommendation. Also, these super chats have been waiting a bit, so I'll quickly address them. Thank you so much. Marusa, with very good chats tonight, by the way. I appreciate the contributions. If anyone like this, I recommend Demon Lover 2002. Panel? Anyone?
Not
That's
seen
new
it.
to me. Hang on.
Not seen it.
I actually have some nights coming up next week where I can go a bit mad on movies and watch anything. So I might actually get to cover a lot of recommendations. French neo-noir. Oh, Oliver Assayas, that is familiar. Okay, this sounds really interesting. Chloe Sevigny, I'm in. I'm sorry, I'm very easily bought over. Ever since she was best thing in kids, so Chloe Sevigny wins me over every time. Guilty pleasure. Thank you very much for the recommendation, Marusa. I've got the wiki up. I may get a chance next week. Very much appreciated. And Big Cover 22, thank you ever so much. Sending $20, very much appreciated. And a member as well, you absolute star. Saying great fun, thank you.
Arigato gozaimasu.
Hi, Anthony. Arigato gozaimasu. And I can't remember the word for generous. Cheers.
Sugoi!
Etc.
Oishi.
All right. You've broken us. Thievery is ensuing. Thank goodness I'm only on the bourbon, not the sake. But oh man, I miss knowing that
I don't know
stuff.
what my excuse is. I haven't been drinking any alcohol tonight. It's all lemonade.
You're drunk on excellent movie.
Oh.
Thank you very much, Big Cover. That is very generous. I appreciate it. That's lovely. Oh, bless. All right. Well, folks, thank you ever so much for the generosity. We're all massively appreciative of this movie. I will say, if you liked Pulse, go and see Cure. That film is, again, I think I gave it 11. Cure, blooming brilliant. Pacing was much tighter. TCG, give Cure a watch. Wonderful. Yeah, there we go. I'm thinking a Kurosawa arc could happen because the guy's put out quite a few horrors. I want to see what he's doing. There's plenty more to mine there. However, it is at this point, having reviewed the movie at the end of the month, that I announced what our arc is going to be going forward, because the channel members have been busy voting. They were given a choice of, off the top of my head, spooky kids, censored movies. What was the other one? Did I do 2000 era cheapies again? I might have. And Brian De Palma. And once again, I have no idea what you guys like, because Brian De Palma, contrary to my expectations, absolutely stormed it. It was not even close. I think he got something like 80% of the votes. Like, there were like 5 votes for the other themes between them, and literally everyone else went for Brian De Palma.
Okay.
So, yeah,
Mission Impossible. What? What?
That's him. Same guy.
The first one's the best one. It's such a different film to the other ones. Oh my god.
The Untouchables, Mission Impossible, Carrie. Brian De Palma has a very Phantom of Paradise. The guy has varied interests.
Oh god.
And he has gone to horror more than a few times. We may have to do a cheeky bonus stream, but I chatted with Murgoot before we started, and I think we're pretty set on what we want to start with. We're going to go for a gamble and look at Sisters.
Oh.
Before Carrie, he did Sisters with Margot Kidder. Yes. So we're going to try that. It was talked about in a. I'm pointing to my research books. House of Psychotic Women. What's her name? Kia La Jeunesse wrote about it very, very enthusiastically. So that's what we're going to start our Brian De Palma arc with. If you have a Brian De Palma you really want us to do, put it in the comments.
He also did a film called Obsession, not the 2020.
He did indeed. He did indeed. Yeah.
Look, if I had control over the films, I'd be bucking the trend of horror, and I'd absolutely be going, we need to watch Mission Impossible, guys. Come on, we need to watch Mission Impossible. There's a 2006 film, The Black Dahlia.
Murgoot, what were we talking about?
The Fury. John Goris. Yep, The Fury is pretty nuts. The book is even more so.
Right,
we're torn. There's like Raising Cain. There's Body Double, Dressed to Kill.
Right,
we've got some choices, man.
Horror show, The Black Dahlia. It's got Josh Hartnett in it.
Oh, I am aware.
Inderjeet, Phantom of the Paradise is an awful rock opera. It's not even so good. It's so bad. It's good. It's just bad.
So we'll try and bring you the quality, but we've got quite a few to choose from. So express your preference and you may sway us. I will say Sisters and Black Dahlia are absolutely locked in, but the remaining two we could switch it up a little bit. So there's room to be selective there. So there you go, folks. You have had your review of Pulse, in which we were so inspired by the film that we covered quite a broad range of things. It's a really good movie. Really good. Give it a watch. And you've got your horror homework, an announcement of the next arc. There you go, folks. So we will be covering Brian De Palma next month, and middle of the month, somewhere between Thursday the 14th and Thursday the 13th and Friday the 14th of August, we may drop a special commentary.
It'll have to be the 13th. Well, it would have to be the 13th.
It'll be the 13th. Yeah, we'll make it happen. We'll make it happen. Is it number 5? Are we doing now? Was that your preference?
We are not in order. I think
we're not doing it in order at all.
We're not. Yeah, I think we did. Did we do number 4 most recently?
No, I think it was Jason X was the most recent one.
Okay. Yes, it was. You're absolutely right. Bloody love that one.
That's a good one.
You know what we should do? We should just put it on like one of those like wheels you can get online. Spin the wheel. We'll just put the films on. We'll spin it. And then that's the one that we go with.
I'll do that. All right.
Yeah.
I'll do that next week, and we'll decide it then, because I need a little bit of time to prep it. But yes, I can do. So I do the autistic timestamp notes.
Yes. So we should do that on the stream next week. Just right, Chad. This is the one.
We got a note. I'll put it in my little notes file. This is so riveting watching me type. There we go. All right, folks. Rounding off, I will say a massive thank you to TCG and Murgoot for the chat this week. We got into it.
Yeah, it was good. As little as we talked about the film, it was actually a bloody good one. So thank you for the opportunity to watch it and chat. As always, absolute legends of the game.
Very much so. And thank you, Murgoot, for absolutely age-mogging us. With just like
no problem.
With your newfangled VHSs and Betamaxes. I was like, yeah. Reminding us how good we have it. I appreciate it.
I've got this thing called a horse and cart. All right, mate.
Buggy whips.
Murgoot's field hand still hard at work.
Why won't this thing go any faster? It's a car, mate. You don't need to whip it.
And chat.
I've had a couple of cars where it made it work better.
Yeah, true. Actually, I could say the same.
And chat. Cheers for keeping it funny and for sponsoring us. It is very much appreciated, seeing as I bought 3 new research books this week.
Nice.
But yeah, let's just look. There's going to be some Japanese arcs coming up. Seriously, I've got some great stuff. I think we all need to know what Japanese horror was doing when Hammer Horror was running, because there is an interesting overlap, and we'll hopefully cover it in a future arc. But thank you ever so much. You've had your review of Pulse. You've had a whole lot of information about our lives, and you've quite a lot. We went personal tonight, and you've got your horror homework for next week. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got a lovely Friday tomorrow and a wonderful weekend after that. And I will leave you now. Thanks, y'all. Cheers.
Hashtag